What's the hardest thing, in your opinion, about being black and gay? I want to know that.
You can't be free. You can't act the way you want to act.
What's one misconception a lot of people have about gay people?
We all love Lady Gaga.
What's one advice you have to all those young gay black men that have not come out right now? What could they do?
Give it time. Give it time. Trust me.
Hype Talks with Hazzy, another guest. We're with. Tell me, who am I with?
Aaron, I'm not no household name yet, but like once I get there, you can find me on TikTok. It's Itsaaroninnit. I'm not gonna even bother like spelling it out for you. If you guys know English, you should.
I like how you said, yet manifestation is true.
Yes.
So you're 26 years old, and today we're going to be talking about your journey being a gay man, a gay African man from the country of Ghana. Ghana, Accra. Twee.
Accra is Accra.
Accra. Right, but I like my pronunciations. Go on. But Twee, you speak Twee?
I know, I can't speak Tree for shit. I'll be so real. It's because I'm not going to blame my mum. It's because like I'm a second gen gen immigrant. So my mum was also born here. So she also speaks in a very like Englishy type of accent.
Fair.
My dad, I'm not that close, but he's proper fresh. But yeah.
Yeah, let's hold the horses because we're going to get it. We're going to dwell in. So today we're going to be talking about your journey as a young black man, an African man, being homosexual, being gay, and your struggles, what you've overcome, and your journey. And I want to know, and so do the viewers, that how is it to be Ghanaian gay? We're going to find out. So we're going to be with Aaron, and let's get into it. So Aaron, let's start off with where you're from, early childhood. Let's go.
So I'm born and bred in Tottenham.
Come on, North London.
Been there my whole life, unfortunately, the ghetto, but I love it at the same time. I'm of Ghanaian heritage. My dad was born and bred, well, I say bred like he's from London. But yeah, he's born and raised in Ghana. My mum is also born in London, but she's also of Ghanaian heritage.
So both your parents are Ghanaian?
Yeah, basically Ghanaian.
So he's Ghanaian overdose.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, my childhood, for the most part, it was like, because like, I would say this, like my experiences within my household is not like a very typical like African type of experience, because like I was mentioning, my mom was also born here, and I feel like a lot of people who are of African heritage, they already have their parents like born and raised in like from African countries. So I didn't really get that strong traditional sense within my household, because a lot of like my mom's brothers, for instance, they're all interracial, mixed ethnic. So I didn't really have that strong typical African type of influence within my household, because my dad also, I wasn't really close to him like that. Like my mom is basically a single parent. So
you come from a single parent household?
Yeah, for the most part. My dad was still involved in my life, but he will come and
You
go.
didn't live with him?
No, like in my early years, yes, but like
Afterwards,
no.
So what age was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Like around like 15, 16. That's when he left. But like, because my uncle had to get involved.
So young, so okay.
Yeah.
So now growing up in an area, especially Tottenham, quite ghetto, quite as you know, it's always on the news. He said family wasn't typically traditional, but when obviously you tell someone you're Ghanaian, Africans, as we know, they've got quite a strong culture. Yeah. Growing up, I'm sure there's certain elements still.
It's very, conservative, very traditional in a sense, very religious as well. So I think that links within the whole, like, did you hear about like they threw like a anti-gay bill just recently, like last year?
Anti-gay bill?
Yeah, like an anti-gay bill.
For
like,
Ghana? Yeah,
in Ghana, there was even like...
so if you were in Ghana, there would be a problem for them?
Yeah, I would have been finished.
Kalas! Finished. But now, so growing up in Tottenham, now let's start off your early years. When did you first have like a bit of an idea that you were attracted to guys?
Like, I used to play them kiss and chase games.
Go on, chat to me. I want to know, what's that? Go on, chat to me. What?
Like, I really forgot what it was, but like, in a sense, it was like you have to chase people like in primary school that you sort of like fancied, but it was like more of a like harmless type of game type of thing. But I always tend to like gravitate towards boys. when doing that. So that's when I had a bit of a realization, but I didn't really fully.
And what age was that?
Like around 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah, I think for like many gay people, like they have different experiences on when they realize that they're gay.
But I think I've noticed, I've spoken to a couple of gay people, and they've always said that they find out from a really young age. For example, they'll have certain crushes. They'll have certain and they'll be attracted towards a guy in the same way. For example, me growing up as a heterosexual man, I would be attracted to a woman. So now let's talk about secondary school.
Secondary school. That's when I was really like, I tried to not put myself out there in a way. Like I really converted my sexuality in a sense that.
Did you know by that time that you were gay?
But I just didn't want to admit it. I used to cover myself.
So you knew deep down, but you didn't want to admit it. Is that what you'd say?
Not deep. Like it was in my like subconscious thought. You know when you have like passing thoughts through your subconsciousness, but like you don't really think of it like right in front of your head, like type of thing, like directly. It's not something that I constantly thought of every day. Although people in secondary school would often make banter like, "Oh, why are you so feminine? Why you act like this?" And it will make myself question a bit at times, but I just try to like downplay it. There used to be, well, it is a thing, but being asexual. So I just used to like identify myself as that. So to make myself not fully confront with being gay, because like, as you already know, it's not really, especially around Tottenham, and the secondary school that I went to was predominantly black as well. So the homophobia that's entrenched within the black community, I knew.
Is it bad? Is homophobia bad in the black community?
Yes, definitely. For me personally, I just felt like I might as well I know that I'm different, but let me not like position myself as being gay. So I just felt like being asexual was the safe time until maybe 17 and 18. That's when I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm actually.
What was it? What was that realization? What was that realization point? You were like, you know what? So you said that you converted it, but when did you realize that, you know what, these aren't just subconscious thoughts. These are. So for example, you just said subconscious thoughts. So for example, give me the difference. So, and be honest now. Let's just say a straight man who finds guys attractive, but not in a way sexually, but says, "Oh, that guy's good looking. That guy's good look." For example, haptics. Like for example, a man who likes girls says a certain man is good looking. What's the difference? Because I think a lot of people have misconceptions that finding another guy good looking, or finding the person of the same sex attractive, or find them good looking, is being homosexual. What can you tell us?
I don't know. Like you have to be sexually attracted to the same sex.
You want to have that initial feeling of wanting to have sex.
Not just reducing it to sex as well, but like romantic attraction in a way. Like I find girls like aesthetically attractive, but I'm not attracted to them sexually and romantically.
That feeling, it's a feeling.
Yeah,
isn't
it's a feeling. It's more deep down, but. That's another thing. I think if a straight guy was to find like other guys like attractive, that doesn't make them gay. Like,
so what is it? What is it that makes someone gay? Like, what is it? Because you just said
like I said, it has to be like a sexual attraction, a sexual romantic. I wouldn't say romantic. But there's some gay people that just don't want to be in a relationship, but they still see themselves as gay. So yeah, basically sexual attraction, because you're attracted to the same.
So when was that first pivotal point as a young man that you realized, you know what, do you remember that one moment, that flick moment when you were like, yep?
It's more of a gradual, so I can't really pinpoint specifically.
But when were you like cemented? When was it cemented? When were you like, because you said 17, 18, you were just like, fuck it, like whatever.
Yeah, but I wasn't like, I was a virgin up until 23, so it's kind of those ones where I'm just like, I did have thoughts on wanting to like engage sexually, but I think with me, I'm sort of like the romantic type where I just didn't want to like sexual, like just have a sexual.
So you
random.
had no.
Like I had no boyfriends, no nothing until I have a boyfriend now, but he's like my first boyfriend.
But nothing at high school.
Nothing. But I used to hear like a lot of shit within secondary school about like some straight boys, they would like engage like sexually with some few of the gay people that I know now. So I think a lot of like things in terms of straight or gay, lots of boys especially experiment around like secondary school and high school. But it is definitely a thing.
So now, when you told your mum, when you told your parents, do both your parents know?
No, only my mom.
Your dad doesn't know?
No, but I don't really care if he was to find out.
Did your mum sort of kind of have an intuition that you were
Yeah, but she was cool with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though I'm of Ghanaian heritage, in a way you don't expect that from many like African mums to be very accommodating and liberal. But it was just like I was saying, because my mum was born here, I think she adapted more to the liberal British norms.
So do you think it'd be different if your mum was born in Ghana?
I think so, definitely.
Have you got any friends whose parents are born from like a origin of African country and then they told you they're coming out experience? Talk to me about that.
Not specifically, but it's more in the sense that they wouldn't come out to them because of that, because they know that if they were to come out to them, then it will be a huge problem. That I heard cases of people even being kicked out because their parents don't approve of their sexuality, more so specifically from like African family households. So I think it's definitely would have been more. I would have been more scared to like come out if my mum was raised in them circumstances, but fortunately, she's been very like accommodating and supportive.
She's been quite supportive to you.
Yeah. But my dad, on the other hand, to be honest, I don't think he would be that. Like, obviously, he won't approve of it because it's just like I can tell, but I don't think he would be so. Like, I think he would still love me in the sense that you're still my son, even though this is not something that I support in a way where I feel like a lot of other African dads will be like, I just don't want to associate with you anymore. Like, they just want to detach.
Have you had any family members who found out you're gay and then just started moving a bit weird?
This is the thing, because I'm not really, I don't really put myself out there outside my immediate family, but I think it's kind of obvious. Like, this is the thing. I get some people that assume that I'm straight, like, well, from minimal interaction, but once you get to know me, it's so obvious. But there's other people that they can tell straight away that I'm gay. So that's the thing. So I know some of them, they can tell that I'm gay, but they just don't raise it up. But they haven't really made any gesture to say that they still don't want me. So
do you think being a gay man and being black is harder than being a gay man and being white, in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
what do you think is like one different struggle? What do you think's a struggle where you have to go through that a white guy is not going to probably think of the same? Because I think because you come from a country of ethnic, like you're
yeah.
Have you come across other like your people from your community? Have you come across other people from your community, or have you seen a negative response when have you faced any hate from your own community?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's like,
talk to me about that. Talk to me about that incident when they did that. I want to know.
More in the sense that it's more of a collective type of experience. It's not like specifically, but I can only tell from my experience. But when I'm surrounded by like many white people, I feel more easy to like embrace my sexuality than in comparison to like a black type of scenery where I just feel more reluctant to like embrace it, because I know that it's very notorious that a lot of black people, they just don't accept homosexuality in comparison to white people.
Why do you think that is though?
I think definitely because of lots of things. Religion, black people are more religious than white people. And I think more so in the sense that a lot of other influences from music, for instance, like dancehall, like the Chichi Man, like the Jamaicans as well, like just everything to do with like black culture is more so against homosexuality. And I think a lots of Africans as well, I've heard that they see homosexuality as a Western thing, as in a white thing. Like,
what do you think about that? Do you think someone chooses to be gay, or do you think they're born gay?
I think it's a mix. When I say a mixture, I think it's a mixture of like genetics and environment. Like, but this is just in my experience.
Explain. What do you mean?
Like,
so do you think if your dad had been more around your life, and tell me this, do you think that would have played an impact? Do you have any sisters, brothers?
I have one sister.
One sister. Is she accepting as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think if you, let's just say, had a more stronger male authority in your opinion, do you think that would have made a difference?
No, because I know lots of gay people who have like active dads in their life. So
that doesn't make a difference, you think?
No, in the context of like maybe masculinity and femininity, there could be some influence on that. But at the end of the day, femininity and masculinity has nothing to do with your sexuality. They're both two different concepts, like gender and sexuality. They're different in a way. Even though, yes, very often they intersect, we need to look through those lenses as well. So you can't always, I think that's just a very inaccurate like assumption to make, that just because someone's gay, that means their dad is not active in their life. Well, no, because I know lots of other gay people who have very active dads in their life. So it doesn't in my opinion, it doesn't make that much of a difference, really. Yeah.
No, fair enough. And now, being a part of a community that's very strong, what do you think certain stereotypes or misconceptions about being homosexual are in your community, especially because do they see homosexuality as a sin in African culture? Or do they,
yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, like lots of Africans are very religious. They see it as very immoral, bottom of the barrel. And for me personally, if an African, I say African as if I'm not African myself, but like if a person was to come up to me and like be like vocalize their opinions against homosexuality, saying they don't support this, I'm not going to care. Like, I'm not going to force you to change your opinion. If that's what you want to believe in, that's what you want to believe in. But I think at the very basis, you just should just see me as a human being with very equal rights. Like, you don't have to support what I do. Like, I don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day,
how do you think you've got that mindset? How do you think you have that mindset? How do you think you just don't care?
Because at the end of the day, London's a very multicultural place full of like diversity, different religious beliefs, different lifestyles, different everything. So in a way, I was just situated to like tolerate all these variety of perspectives and stuff. But because of that, I've grown to just see various points of views to the point that it doesn't really like affect me. Because at the end of the day, we all have like differences about ourselves. That's what makes diversity beautiful. But at the same time, you shouldn't impose your perspective onto someone else, because at the end of the day, we're just different people. That's what makes us unique. But adding on to the basis of stereotypes too as well, I think there's definitely lots of stereotypes where gay people, I guess, yeah, they're seen as more feminine or more flamboyant, more sexualized, and there's lots of things that I feel because of that, people, especially when I'm posting stuff on TikTok, there's some people be like, how can you be like a gay roadman? And I don't give roadman the slightest, even though at times my accent can be a bit, but it's just those points where you can't
generalize.
Yeah, generalize. And then at the same time, there's lots of stereotypes of pigeon gay people as, oh, you can only be feminine, as if there's not any gay masculine men too.
Have you come across gay masculine men?
Yes, definitely. And I wouldn't say I'm no way fully masculine, but I wouldn't say I'm that feminine. I'm like in the middle. Like, I can say, yeah, my mannerisms and how I talk at times can be feminine, but a lot of my taste, like in music especially, is, I would say, straight, when the typical stereotype of gay people is listening to Beyonce, Lady Gaga, etc., when I don't necessarily listen to them as much. So yeah, they're just these stereotypes that just pigeonhole us, but at the same time, it makes it much more harder for those people that stand out to really put themselves through that scene. So yeah,
I feel like if you come from a different country, from especially a traditional strong household like the Asian Africans, I feel like there's a certain way a man's supposed to behave.
Yep.
And as a man right now, when you're walking in Tottenham and stuff, have you
ever, for example, got any sort of hate? Have you had people come up to you and be weird? Or even when you're on a night out, when you've told somebody, oh, yo, like, has anyone ever been shocked? Like, yo, you're gay. Like, has anyone ever done that?
I wouldn't say shocked, but they wouldn't assume on first thought that I was. But like I was saying, there's other times where people can tell straight away that I was gay. So it's like I get a mix.
You're like, yeah, man.
But that's me, multifaceted. So I love it. Like, people can't always tell what I am straight away, which is good. And it makes it much more, I guess, easier in the sense that I can adapt to settings. And like, let's say, for instance, if I go to the barbers, people don't, like, I don't have to feel that worried at times when I'm speaking to the barber, because a lot of the time there's a lot of gay people that go to the barbers, but they have to like deepen their voice, because lots of barbers, but I wouldn't say, I haven't witnessed it in my own like barber experience, but I hear other gay people, even when they're in the barbers, they'll start speaking about like gay people, but in very like in a hateful type of context.
In a negative way.
Yeah, negative way, yeah.
So do you think you kind of kept it coverted because you saw the way other people, gay people, being treated, and you was that like a factor that kind of just thought, I don't want the problems, I just want to allow it?
I think generally I like to present myself as, well, it really depends, like, but on a general day or night out, I don't really go over the top in terms of how I look, because generally I just feel comfortable like that. But then again, talking about coming from Tottenham, and you have to be a bit more mindful, like, it's already lots of high crime rates in Tottenham. So on top of that, putting yourself more out there in terms of how you look, being overly feminine as a man, that's just gonna even increase.
Yeah, exaggerate.
So it does influence a bit, but then again, I genuinely feel comfortable not presenting myself as overly flamboyant. And there's nothing wrong with like dressing up like as feminine, because like I've noticed some people that do that.
But do you think in a gay relationship dynamic, this is what I've seen when I've done interviews and spoken to people, is it always one dominant guy and then other ones a bit more, or or can there be two dominant people or two feminine people? How does it work?
It depends. It varies. Like, generally, I guess there is a stereotype that should be like one dominant masculine type of alpha male, and the other one should be like a submissive type of feminine type of guy. But I feel like a lot of that just matches through the heterosexual lens, which I don't agree with, because at the end of the day, we're gay men. We're not man and woman. We're just man and man. So why does it have to reflect upon the heterosexual lens? Like, that's what I don't.
Have you ever had like men who are straight to the world and like messages, or have you ever had straight men try and move to you, experiment with you?
To be honest,
or do you know any sort of incidents like that from any people that you know?
I think so, but I can't like I shared a few experiences with my close friends about that, but it's like some of my friends will tell me he doesn't look like he's hitting on you, but some of my other friends will say that, and I kind of see more from their perspective that actually he could be hitting on me. But I know other friends too, they will get moved by straight people out in public, but gay on the low. It does happen a lot in a way, but with me, I don't really actively go out for those type of people, because at the end of the day, why am I going to waste my time with someone who wants to like deceive people?
Because I've seen a lot of things on YouTube and stuff where a lot of people, they do these like conversion therapies of where they feel like have you seen the ones where they feel like you can make you straight, so they do
that's fucking bullshit. I feel like they just do that to convince themselves, to make themselves feel better, but deep down they're still gay.
So what about those people that were gay before and they're like, now we're fully straight?
No, they're still gay. They're just like, I'm just saying, they're just trying to like make themselves feel better.
You don't think it can change?
Me personally, I wouldn't say so. I think sexuality, there's a spectrum. No one is truly, I think there's not many people who are fully straight or fully gay.
No.
So
I'll be wrong, man. I straight up only like women.
Okay, but that's cool. You might say that though, but for me personally,
No, but like for me personally, I'm gonna be real. I can't imagine even fathom. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like,
Yeah,
everybody says,
yeah.
But me personally, like, even if you put a gun to my head, I don't think I could personally.
not
like,
even for $1 billion.
Now, physically, but I don't think physically though. Like, it's like, could you kill a child?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to compare it, but I'm just trying to say, could you shoot a child for $1 billion? Physically, could your hand pull the trigger?
No,
But this is what I'm saying. I physically, like, for example, let me ask you now, yeah? Do you think, like, when you look at a woman now, you just said, for example, give me your celebrity crush as a woman. Who would you say? That you find-
Rihanna.
Okay, Rihanna. So if I see Rihanna, I'm like, yeah, Clark, like, yo, she's looking nice. When you see her, what's the difference? Like, do you see it in a way where you see her as appreciating? Like, you're appreciating her looks,
I appreciate a look.
but you don't want to have sex with her. You don't want to be in your
No.
Like, you don't find her attractive in that way.
No, just physically, aesthetically, I find her attractive,
Yeah.
but sexually, I just don't know.
The same thing I would say, like, somebody like, I don't know. Jude Bellingham's a good looking brother.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
So it's the same. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, I personally don't think I could physically be with the same gender. The same way, do you think you could physically have sex with a woman? See, look, even your face. Yeah, look.
I don't think so.
Because it wouldn't. That's not your thing, isn't it?
No.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think you physically, and a lot of people, right? They would say that, like, I've got a lot of friends who, obviously, me personally, this is what I believe. I believe people who always shit on gay people, they're gay themselves. Low-key.
Yeah, definitely. But here's my problem with that. It makes it seem like every gay person before they were gay, they were homophobic too, which I don't think that's the case. But I think it is common to find out those who are bare hating on gay people, they end up being gay.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. When you're at school, you're always like, oh, that's gay.
Yeah.
When you're young, but I feel like after you reach a certain age and if you're still hating on gay people, and if you consider yourself a straight man, then I think there's a problem, because then I feel like you're not trying to hate on that person. You're trying to hate on yourself because you ain't, like, this is what they always say, like, the biggest homophobes are secretly gay. Because they're not hating on other people, they're hating on themselves because they can't open out, they can't come out. And now, you as a man, how did you come out?
Well, it's kind of obvious. Like, people already assumed that I was gay. And even my mum put me on the spot, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm gay.
What, she asked you, are you gay?
Yeah, it was just basically that. I just said that, yeah. Because I was sick and tired of just having to lie and, like, try and lie to myself. So, and I knew my mum was
Can you
already
explain that?
cool.
Can you explain that? Like, let's get deep into that. You lied to yourself. What do you mean? So what? Well, let's just say let's take a little skip down. So let's just say you're 16, young Aaron. What do you mean by you were lying to yourself? What does that mean? How was that? How were you doing that?
Like, I just didn't want to confront it because I just felt like I was too young to like identify with that, because I just felt like, when you go through puberty, like, all your hormones change. I just thought it was one of them cases. So I'm just like, you know what, I'll grow out of it, but at the same time,
Was the feelings increasing that was it like that?
it fluctuated. So sometimes I would feel something, then other times I would just be like, no. I even had girl crushes at school, to be honest, but it wasn't as intense.
Well, so did you never say that? Maybe I'm bisexual.
No, because at the same time I knew I just couldn't feel anything.
So, but then how could you say it's a girl crush? What do you mean? The same way we
Like
Rihanna that we said?
Yeah, no, like a girlfriendly type of way. I think there's a thing called like aromantic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was basically that, where I just didn't want to have sex, but emotionally, I guess, yes.
But you were always sexually attracted to men.
Yes.
So it was more like a aromantic, like you wanted a romantic relationship with them.
Yes,
but your
yes,
sexual
yes,
inclinations were always towards a man.
Yes, you got it right there.
So as a black guy, who did you look up to? Of course, because there's not really
Many.
Yeah, growing up, especially for yourself. So was it
Definitely Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah, I wanted to be an actor at one point, so I looked up to him a lot.
But any prominent, significant gay black men that you...
Frank Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, he's bisexual, but he was like one of the first, like...
Frank Ocean, yeah? Okay, carry on.
But within the context of the UK, you don't. There's not really that many prominent black British gay figures besides that footballer who died. I think his name was Joshua or something. But this was in the 80s. But Yeah, I don't know anyone that prominent within the UK context, but in terms of the Americans, yeah, Frank Ocean, apparently Tyler, the Creator, might be.
Who?
Tyler, the Creator.
Okay.
Who else? I can't think of that much more. Of course, you have Lil Nas X, but I don't really.
What do you think of him? What do you think of Lil Nas? Tell me, chat to me.
I think he's very good looking. I like his style and everything.
Would you say you're attracted to him?
I have a boyfriend now. So.
Oh yeah, you have a boyfriend, don't you?
Yeah.
So let's go back. You said you have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So is he Ghanaian too?
No, he's mixed. He's mixed. He's half Pakistani, quarter Guyanese, and quarter white.
So he's a buffet mix.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been dating him for now?
For a year.
For a year now.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Wow. And would you say his journey was a bit different to yours? Because
yeah, even he had his dad involved in his life. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, not every gay person doesn't have an active dad within their life. So yeah, I would say that was a difference in terms of his family structure in comparison to mine.
So just to get a person out, right?
Yeah.
You said you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
In your relationship, would you say there's one person, for example, and I'm trying to relate it back to the woman and man role, but in your relationship now, is there one person who's more of like the alpha or just the same?
Just neutral, the same. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like
24/7 that there has to be one dom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're both gay men. Why do we have to mirror through a heterosexual lens? We're not like a man and a woman. This is another thing, and you probably won't understand this lingo too, but I fucking can't stand it when. Do you know what like tops and bottoms are?
Nah, explain that. I don't get it.
So basically, yeah, it's sort of linking to your perception.
So what's tops and
the
bottoms?
tops are more like masculine, more dominant. They take on like. I forgot again, like is it the receptive? But they're the one who's giving.
Yeah.
And the bottom's the one who takes it. But some gay people, they take it too seriously to the point that because, like, let's say for instance, because the bottom's submissive and feminine, they would want to act like the woman within the relationship, while the top, since the top is more like perceived as more dominant, they would want to be more of the alpha male. But I really can't.
You can't stand that.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
Oh, fair.
but some gay people enforce that too, in a sense that there should be, just because you're top, you should be the man, and just because you're bottom, you should be the woman. Like,
You see, we're talking about sexual chemistry and sex now. Obviously, I'm sure you know as well that there's a lot of discussions now, and I'm not trying to be offensive or nothing.
Yeah.
But with HIV and stuff.
Yeah.
So explain that. I want to know your fear. Have you ever been scared of something like that? Have you? How does somebody? Of course, we have everybody, even regardless of what type of relationship you're in, you've got protection. But is that a significant thing in the gay community? HIV, is that big?
Well, technically, recent statistics have shown like straight people have contracted more HIV last year or something in comparison to gay people. But despite that, I guess the statistics do show that gay men, like, I think is 1 in 5. No, not 1 in 5. But yeah, like 5% of gay men in the population have HIV. But I feel like...
Has that ever been a fear for you?
Because I wasn't born in the time of when the whole pandemic started. So it wasn't a thing for me in a sense that I was exposed to that, the height of the stigma, you know, when it came out all in the 80s within the UK context. And then they had an advertisement of like a tombstone falling down. I wasn't raised around that time.
Do you think gay men are hypersexualized way more? Like, do you think they're more seen as more sexual?
I guess, yeah, in a sense that because often a lot when gay men are presented in media, it's like within the sexual scene, it's always, they're cheating, or they're in like an orgy, or like Grindr, for instance. That's sort of like not embraced, but like it's capitalized off that hypersexuality in the sense that...
Wait, did you just say Grindr?
Yeah, Grindr. I've never used Grindr in my life.
Do you know people who've used Grindr?
Yeah.
But chat to me. What is it like? Is it like basically gay Tinder?
Yeah, basically. But it's just basically a hookup app. Like lots of people just use it just for like sex. Like,
do you think hooking up being homosexual is more risky than hooking up being a heterosexual? Or do you think it's the same amount of risk? Or do you think you have to be more careful because you're gay in certain ways?
I mean, in a context of, obviously you don't have to face the worry of being pregnant, I guess, but there's still like weird people on there. Like there was even a case, I think it was called Stephen Paul. He was like a serial killer who killed people that he met from Grindr. So you still need to take those into precautions, as well as people lying about their status about HIV, or people, just lots of things. And then on top of that too, the racial fetishization on Grindr. You get like white people, for instance, on Grindr saying they're looking for like BBCs, as in big black cocks, and all of that type of stuff. Like, and then you get other people too, like people of color who cry. And when I say cry, I mean in the sense that they share the Grindr screenshots on social media saying, oh, this white man didn't like accept me and all of that type of stuff. And I'm just like, why are you crying? You know these people don't accept you. So it's like, why are you bringing these tears on social media? So you get those type of people too, which I can't stand.
You can't stand that.
No, like people that beg for like white men, like people of color men who beg for white men, and then share the Grindr screenshots on Twitter, for instance, and saying, oh, this white man rejected me because I'm this and that and other. When it's just like a lot of white men are like this. So why are you begging for it? Like,
so I'm guessing you're not into your white men.
No,
you're
no way, not into them snowflake.
Why?
No, it's because like obviously I was raised in like a black environment, so I'm more so drawn to like black features. It's not to say I would like, because there are some attractive white people, but at the same time, besides the physical aspect, cultural, like, I would have more sense of a connection with someone who's mixed
the same
with black
culture.
or fully black.
So would you date someone who's Ghanaian if you don't have a
Yeah, of
girlfriend?
course. I've dated a Ghanaian before.
You've dated a Ghanaian?
Yeah.
Oh, explain. I want to know about this now.
Yeah, it was good in the sense that like there was automatic cultural connection. It was like an ease.
But are Ghanaian men toxic?
He wasn't toxic to me, so that's Nigerian, definitely.
And Nigerians are toxic?
Yeah.
So Nigerian men and Ghanaian men, Nigerian men are more toxic?
Yeah, definitely.
What is it? Because I've heard that in my interviews when I'm talking to girls.
They just are like, they would just play you.
Nigerian men. Is it the Yoruba kings?
Yoruba, Igbo, I don't know.
And all the tribes. Yeah, be breaking his heart, breaking the Ghanaian brother here.
And Ghanaian jollof is better than Nigerian jollof, by the way.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Whoa. So now, do you think being a homosexual person compared to a heterosexual person, what do you think the difficulties are of life? Do you think there's difficulties? Do you think life's different? Do you think if you were straight, you'd have a different...
Yeah, obviously, it would be much more easier if I was straight. Obviously, not acting like this. But I think it's very obvious, like, you won't face the consequence of being, like, gay, like, people making fun of you.
But how do you deal with that, though? How do you generally not let that get to you? Because as a person who's obviously, you've accepted now you're gonna go to certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
And you are gonna face discrimination. You are gonna face prejudice.
Yeah.
How do you willingly accept that? How do you move on? How does the mental health? How do you not let that get the best of you? How do you not let that get to you? Like, oh, let me just pretend to be straight or around people and then I'm gay secret. How do you just have the courage to be like, you know what, fuck it. If you don't like how do you do that? How does that work?
You just grow to accept yourself. It just takes time. It's not. Maybe for some people it might be easy, but in my experience, it just takes time to just accept yourself. And when it comes to other countries too, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more concerned of me being black than being gay. So like, for example, if I was to go to Spain, I'll be more concerned over me being black than gay. Like this is the thing as well, people can see that obviously with me, they can see that I'm black, but you can't always tell whether someone's gay unless if they tell you. So, and it depends on the context, but in my experience, I'm more so concerned about my racial identity first.
So you think what's harder? Do you think being gay is harder or being black's harder?
It depends on the context. Here in the UK, definitely being gay.
But do you not think it's progressing a lot now, obviously, because you see like Pride Months, Pride Parade, do you not?
No, just because it's all out there doesn't necessarily reflect what goes through realities. There's still people... Like, obviously, there's always going to be homophobic people. There's always going to be this and that.
You've accepted that, haven't you?
Yeah, because I think some people just think just because there's all this like promotion now of LGBT rights that they think everything is like all rainbows and fairies. No, like still in the trenches, well, in my experience at least, not a lot of people are still accepting. So, but I think that alone has taught me to just live by it and just go on.
So
with
what? Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
So what's the plans then? You're 26 years old.
Yeah,
Would you want to get married?
I can't lie. This is not because of my sexuality. This is just me personally. But I think marriage is just like a financial. I think it's probably influenced by my family structure as well. I wouldn't go too much into that. But I think from that toxic,
You've kind of
it sort of put me off.
What about kids?
Kids,
Would you adopt?
maybe, but I think in general, not even straight people, they don't want to have kids as much now because like the cost of living and just everything to do with
But
like
let's just
raising
say-
a child is just like too much besides sexuality. Like,
But let's just say you wanted to. Let's just say have a child. Would you adopt?
maybe, but at the same time, I'm happy not having a child in my life. So, like I've always said this, like if one of my cousins or sibling, for example, have a child, I'll treat it like my own child. So,
You're happy with that?
yeah, I'm just happy with that.
Fair enough. No, because obviously, biologically, two men having children is not possible. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But what if, let's just say, you're with a partner who wants to have children? Would you adopt then?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Along if we're in a stable situation, then I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Fairs. And now, Aaron, what's your advice to all those young black men, especially, who are gay, who are hiding it? Tell us a message. What do they need to do? How do they figure themselves out, and how do they be as confident, as resilient as you are, and just not give a fuck, to be honest?
Just give it time. Just value time. It doesn't have to be like overnight, but just always remind yourself that you will get there eventually if you want to. So yeah, I just always say that. And obviously,
Did you ever get bullied in school?
yeah, obviously, like people would make all fun of me. Yeah, for being, oh, why are you feminine? Why you do your hands like that? Or even my features, like my lips, for instance, for example. I used to get all.
You used to get bullied really badly. Do you remember?
I wouldn't say badly, but it was quite moderate. In a way.
Was it consistent?
Yeah, consistent in a way, but like,
Did that affect your mental health? Or do you think that made you stronger?
I don't really know, you know, like, because now when I think about it, I just think I just came to be me in a way when not thinking on those circumstances. But when I'm linking it back now, yeah, people's comments do make you in a way, yeah, stronger. So I could say that, yeah.
So you just said I was just being me. How did you accept not being liked? How did you accept that? All right, cool. There's going to be certain people out there who don't like me. How did you where did that come from? Was that because obviously, like you said, being gay and being black is already two hard things.
Yeah.
What was it that made you not get your self-esteem in a way where it was deteriorated, or was it like, what was that thing that made your self-esteem still stay high, your hopes stay high, your resilience, your confidence? How did you not let that overcome you? Because was there ever times where you felt like, obviously I'm sure some people they go through. Did you talk to somebody? Did you ever have those discussions?
I wouldn't really. Yeah, I did. Yeah, because I used to have like a youth counselor at the time.
You think that helped?
Yeah, I think that helped in a bit. But then again, I think online was my main use of getting advice. Like I used to go on like Yahoo forums just to like find people in similar situations like me, and I use that as a way to like guide me through my struggles.
So let me give you an example. You're walking,
yeah,
and you see a couple of lads.
yeah.
They start mocking you, for example. What would you do? Just walk away?
It depends. I mean,
Have you
yeah,
ever
most likely I would just walk off. To be fair,
So
'cause
now, do words not affect you? Whoever likes you likes you. Whoever doesn't, you don't really care no more.
I'm still human at the end of the day, so words are still gonna affect me. But I think my approach is much more better than in comparison to the past. Like I'm not gonna cry about it.
Before, did you used to cry?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, words can only affect you if you let them.
Yep.
Because if you just say, "All right, cool," because at the end of the day, you're still gonna have a good night's sleep.
Yep.
And I think that's the main thing that's quite important, isn't it?
Yep.
Nice. This has been quite an interesting conversation. Yeah. Well, that was a lovely conversation, Aaron. So as you lot know, Hype Talks with Hazzy, and Aaron's social is going to be all there, so go get at him. And yeah, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to see more videos like this, second episode's done. And yeah, man, we got Aaron here. That's it. Come on, man.